Welcome to the Sewing Street Tutorials YouTube channel. I'm Sam Sabido and I'm a crochet designer. You can find loads of other crafty tutorials on our channel though, so please do have a look. I'm going to show you how to make this crochet snowflake. You can make your crochet snowflake using any yarn that you like. This one is made with a double knit cotton. You could also use a double knit acrylic, or you could use a very fine yarn, for example this 2-ply cotton. I'm going to be working with this lovely silver double knit yarn. You'll also need a hook that matches the size of the yarn you're using. So because I'm working with double knit, I'm going to use a 4mm hook, a needle to sew your ends in, and some scissors. I'll be using the treble crochet stitch in UK terms, which you can find a tutorial for on our channel. And I'll also be using a foundation chain, which you can also find a tutorial for on the Sewing Street Tutorials channel. So I'm going to show you how to make this cute crochet snowflake. I'm going to be using this silver double knit yarn and a 4mm hook. You're going to start by doing a chain of 6. And slip stitching it to the first chain. So push your hook through that first chain, hook onto the yarn and put it through the chain and the loop on your hook. This has made a tiny circle with a hole in the middle. I'm just going to show you that here. We're going to work into there next. So for the first round, you work a 3 chain in the air, which acts as the first treble, and then a treble in that ring. So you've got a 3 chain and 1 treble. You're then going to do a 3 chain in the air and then make 2 more trebles in that same ring. 1, 2, and then chain 3 in the air again. And you're going to repeat that 4 more times so that you have 6 sets of 2 trebles and 6 chain 3s. So 2 trebles, chain 3, 2 trebles. Chain 3, just so to show you how to check. At the moment I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets, so I'm going to do 1 more set of 2 trebles and a chain 3. And then I'm going to slip stitch to the third of that first 3 chain that I made. So you've now made a little hexagon. 3 chain and 1 treble, chain 3, 2 trebles, 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 chain 3, and a slip stitch. Next you slip stitch into the first stitch, which is the V at the top of that first treble you made. And then you slip stitch into the first 3 chain space, which is this hole here. Just put your hook into that hole, into the space made by the 3 chain, and make a slip stitch in there. You're then going to do a chain 3 in the air, which counts as the first treble, and then 4 more trebles all in that space. 1, 2, 3, 4. And because that 3 chain counts as a stitch, that's effectively 5 trebles all in that space. So you're then going to chain 3 and make 5 trebles in that next chain 3 space. and then chain 3 again. So your repeat is to put 5 trebles in the next chain space and then chain 3, and we're going to do that all the way around. 5 trebles in the next hole, and then chain 3. And then it's 5 trebles in the final hole, chain 3. You can see we've worked all the way around, and we're going to slip stitch in the third of that 3 chain. And that's the second round done. So now for the third and final round, you're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Find the third treble along, remembering that you count that chain 3 as the first. 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch in that third treble. So you've made a little loop that sits above the stitches. You then chain 3 again, and you slip stitch into the chain space, so into that next chain space there. So you've made a second little loop that sits above. You're then going to chain 5 and slip stitch back into that same chain space that you just slip stitched in. And that makes your first loop that's like your point on your snowflake. And then you repeat that all the way around. So chain 3, slip stitch in the third, chain 3, slip stitch in the space, chain 5, slip stitch back in the same chain space. And that's your repeat all the way around until you get to the end. So I've worked all the way around, and I've made my final chain 5 in my final chain space, and all you do is slip stitch back in that same chain space and then fasten off. And there we have your 6-pointed snowflake made in the silver.